cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is going to be our review of Six Underground. Yeah, we know. It's a couple weeks late. We were freezing our asses off in the Caribbean.
Oh, my God. You were freezing your ass
I was.
off.
It was raining a lot.
85.
It was cold.
It was not.
It was raining, and AC in the room was like 65.
That was glorious.
That was true. But we got home, we watched that, we've done a bunch of other things, and getting ready for the holidays, and we wanted to do a review for this and a couple other movies tonight. So this is Ryan Reynolds and Michael Bay and Netflix saying, here's money, go.
Yep.
Is how I felt watching this.
Yes. They absolutely threw a lot of money at this movie, which was fine. It worked. I thought it was a good movie. Spoilers. I got there early.
That's fine.
But yeah, they definitely threw some money at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they leaned into the, for lack of a better term, Michael Bay-ness of it all.
Yeah. In the first minute, I think we already had a lens flare. And
It's I like Michael Bay as a action director, and I think he lost his way with the Transformer movies a little bit. Yeah. And you know, Paramount keeps giving him big checks and back ends and stuff like that, so he's gonna keep making those, but they just kind of lost their way. We even see the last one. Yeah. Knights and Nazis and
whatever.
But it was nice to see him to kind of go back to his roots. He did Armageddon, and he did Bad Boys, and so that kind of stuff, and having that. It was nice to have that kind of practical explosions and cool car chases and shootouts and stuff like that.
Not big CGI robots that the people interacting with them aren't actually making eye contact.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that. We're not here to diss on Transformers, but we'll do it anyways. This story is about billionaire tech guy,
Playboy
philanthropist. Who instead of trying to just be that playboy or anything, he learns that he needs to exist off the grid, essentially. And
he has a life experience being a philanthropist. There, I said the word right. That kind of made him realize that you can throw all the money you want to, helping starving kids or whatever, but if you're not getting to the root of the problem, the dictator or whatever that's causing the issues, you're not really helping. So he decided to get to the root of the problem instead.
And I like the them taking the idea of like the Kingsmen kind of thing, where they're their own, they're doing it for the betterment of everybody, but they're not tied down to some government bureaucrat or red tape or whatever you want to
organization
call it.
Whatever with an agenda.
Right. They can just take somebody out because they're a bad guy and not have to worry about the political ramifications of doing such a thing.
Right.
And that was really kind of a nice modern take on the Kingsmen. It's a little bit more of a serious take of the Kingsmen kind of idea, but it's still okay. That general idea was a lot of fun. The cast is pretty awesome. Ryan Reynolds is just pretty much playing Ryan Reynolds. He has a couple of scenes where you're like, oh wait, Ryan can act. So there's some like serious like backstory telling points and stuff like that.
Where he's actually being serious, and it's like it's a little shocking at first.
Pulling on your heartstrings a little bit, but also giving you some understanding of why he's made this decision to do this.
Right.
And all of the other characters around that start to figure out that he actually is doing this for the right reasons and not really just doing it to prove a point, which kind of is talked about a couple of different times.
Yeah. And not because he's a billionaire and he's bored.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. We talked like the action scenes are like it's action scene pause, action scene, pause, action scene, pause, which was really cool. They kill off a major character in the first 15 minutes, and I was like, whoa, really?
Yeah. Well, and that kind of helps you to understand that nobody, like, this isn't going to kind of be your regular action movie where the major characters are all going to survive till the end, because that
puts stakes on everything right away.
Yep.
And I like that each individual person within the team has their own specialty.
Yeah.
And they lean into the specialty, but they also have their own quirks and their own agendas and their own comedy, in that they kind of lean into the comedy with each other and the bickering, and I really appreciate that. Now, you need to understand about this movie too is it's full Michael Bay, and they don't lean away from the blood, the guts, the bodies flying through the air. Like there's a couple of times early on where I was like, wow, they just showed that.
Yeah.
Like you see a car crash and you just see the car crash and the explosion. Well, they have a car crash and an explosion and a flaming body flying through the air.
Right. Because he flew out of the windshield of the car that just exploded.
Right. And that was very jarring, because you don't typically get to see that, because it's Netflix, and they don't have the government oversight yet to tell people that this is inappropriate for children under the age of 25. That it was actually kind of refreshing to do a full-on actions, like a real-world action scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to do that kind of stuff, right? Because I think a lot of kids here, I'm gonna get off my lawn. I think a lot of kids today, they see that kind of stuff and they don't, there's a giant car crash and explosion and the person gets out and they're singed and they go on about their day, or even they just don't see the ramifications, and this didn't shy away from that, and I think that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, I actually, that's why I wanted to bring it up, was because it was kind of cool to actually see that, to actually have that be there and be a storytelling point, because then they end up turning around and doing it on a bigger scale of throwing the bodies around and stuff like that in the big set piece at the end.
Yeah.
And it pays off. Your brain is already kind of used to seeing the bodies flying and stuff like that. So it sounds very weird to say, but it does, it does lead to the understanding of how everything is moving around and stuff in that final scene. It gives it a little credence, I think is the right word I'm looking for there. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's not the most inventive plot points, and the dialogue is a little clunky at times, but I'm not watching this movie for that.
Right. I want to say like a Rambo movie, but I think it was better than that. I mean, some of the Rambo movies are super cheesy, but that kind of just, you're not watching,
shoving popcorn into your mouth, having fun.
Yeah, this
laughing.
isn't an Oscar nominee. This is shit getting blown up, and
it's very much on the feel of like the Fast and the Furious series, where you're just going to have fun. Like Hobbs and Shaw is like a very kind of same level as Hobbs and Shaw,
but a little more realistic.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely. There's some stuff in Hobbs and Shaw, as much as I love that movie, where it's just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and Fast and the Furious, you're not jumping Bugatti. Was it a Bugatti?
No, it was a night something, from one building to the other.
From one building to the other in Dubai. Right. That's just never, ever happening.
That was the
real.
least likely scenario in that whole thing. But Vin Diesel to actually pick up the win in actually makes sense. That's a whole nother story. So overall, not a world beater. Still a lot of fun. We talked about it the other day. Like I put it on again just because it was fun to watch, and it's on Netflix, so we're not paying for it. So Skewer.
Oh, 3.5.
3.75.
Okay.
So we're right about where we normally are. So I'm usually just a little bit better off. Or
We
like
either
a little bit
hate
more
it, love it, or it's a 3.5.
3.5. Welcome to the Middle of the Road show. Let us know what you thought of Six Underground in the comments. Be nice. That is a requirement around here. I'm pointing at you guys. Wait till we get to the other one, the other review. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this movie, and do you want to see some more within this universe? They kind of set it up pretty well to do that.
Yeah.
And we got Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and some other stuff coming. So it's going to take a minute for it to come. So let us know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications because we're uploading stuff all the time. Trailer reactions, movie reviews, series reviews when we get done with Runaways, and everything else. We are also on the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of those links are in the description down below. Sure. And until next time, happy holidays. And if we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.